The tsunami.
Произошло с моим соперником, погоняло которого было Чипа. Молодой парень с высшим образованием, с его слов имел собственную перспективную фирму, был осужден к 3 годам химии. Пока сидел под следствием, получал от жены шикарные передачи, пил хороший чай, курил классные сигареты. При этом он очень гордился собой и выдавал себя за большого знатока тюремных законов. Когда же прошел суд и стал ясен приговор, он попал в осужденку, а передачи резко прекратились, на свиданку никто не пришел. Тут все и началось. Вначале знатока тюремных законов за пару сигарет стали приглашать, чтобы он сделал операцию на теле, вскрыл и обработал фурор. Потом в углу на шканах повесили занавеску из простыни и начали приглашать делать массаж. А однажды утром я увидел, что его матрас и вещи оказались на полу возле дальника. Ему бросили шлемку, миску из-под маргарина рама и навсегда запретили прикасаться к общаку.
Call me demon. Water forgets the names of the drowned.
Fortune doesn't favor fools.
Ready to set the world on fire. Delightful and shine flicked. My blade is yours.
How about a magic trick?
Death is like the wind, always by my side.
Death to all betrayers.
On my wings.
You will kill your enemies. That will be fun.
Vengeance is at hand.
I am the fire that
Welcome to
cleanses the world.
Summoner's Rift.
You can't contain me, Summoner.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Yes.
Minions have spawned.
This body is just one of many. Is it hot in here, or is it just me? Go. Free.
First blood.
I'm on a short fuse. Blaze a trail.
Has been slain.
I purify this one. Like wildfire. After millennia,
No shall return.
yes. Blaze a trail. Going.
Has been slain. Ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
This body is just one of many. You can't contain me, Summoner. I am the fire that cleanses the world. I'm on a short fuse. summoner. I will blaze a trail.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
I'm on a short fuse. I am the fire that cleanses the world. After millennia, I am free. This body is just one of many.
We must attend to other matters.
Yes. Going. Wildfire.
To our side.
Go. I am fire that cleanses the world. Like wildfire. I'm on a short You can't contain me, summoner. This body is just one of many. I will blaze a trail. Yes. is a trick. Like the fires of vengeance.
You have slain an enemy.
I am the fire that cleanses the world.
An enemy has been slain.
Take these.
An enemy has been slain.
This body is just one of many. Going. Yes. I am free. I'm on a short fuse.
An enemy has been slain.
It is
Has been slain. An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Yes. Some say the world will end in fire. I'm on a short fuse. Going.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill. Your turret has been destroyed.
Like wildfire. This body is just one of many.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed a turret.
I am the fire that cleanses the world.
Claim Lord.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Rampage. Rampage. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Like wildfire. After millennia, I am free. Going. Can't contain me, summoner.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
I will
An
blaze
enemy
a trail.
has been slain.
This body is just one of many. I'm on a short fuse. Going. I will blaze a trail. After millennia, I am free. I am the fire that cleanses the world.
kill. An enemy has been slain.
This body is just one of many.
Protect.
Like wildfire. You can't contain me, summoner.
Unstoppable.
I'm on a short fuse. I will blaze a trail.
Protect. Protect.
That cleanses the world.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
After millennia, I am free. Going. Like wildfire.
Ally has been slain. Shut down.
Punish them.
Dominating.
This body is just
Dominating.
one of many.
Dominating.
Like wildfire.
Godlike.
Going.
Godlike.
You can't contain me, summoner. I am the fire that cleanses the world.
An enemy has been slain.
Face the wind!
Protect. Protect.
I purify.
Shut down. Your team has destroyed the inhibitor. Legendary.
Yes.
Ally has been slain. Shut down. Legendary. Rampage.
will in my hands. The heart is the strongest muscle.
Don't you trust me?
The unseen blade is the deadliest.
My heart and sword, always for Demacia.
Once a Vandal Gunner, always a Vandal Gunner.
Time to troll!
Time for a true display of skill.
The tsunami that hit Okushiri, Japan, came from just 80 kilometers away and reached a run-up height of 31 meters. It killed 198 people and destroyed most of the fishing village of Aonai. But it pales in comparison to the deadliest tsunami of modern times. 7:58 a.m., December 26, 2004. Deep in the ocean off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia, 1,200 kilometers of the Earth's crust ruptures in the second largest earthquake ever recorded.
30 seconds to rebuild swarm.
The 9.3 quake shatters buildings and destroys lives. But it is just a forerunner of an even more horrific disaster. An epic tsunami spreads across the entire Indian Ocean, striking 12 countries. As with Okushiri, Japan, the local effects are the most immediate and the most devastating. 16 minutes after the quake and 250 kilometers from its epicenter, northern Sumatra is struck by 35-meter-high waves. The capital city of Banda Aceh is decimated. More than 160,000 people are killed. Coastal engineer Jose Borrero arrived in Banda Aceh 4 days behind the tsunami.
I've seen hurricane damage, and I've seen some flood damage before, and I've seen a lot of tsunami after effects before also. But this definitely was the worst. What was amazing about it was the scale.
70% of all buildings in Banda Aceh are flattened. More than 70 kilometers of coastline show evidence of wave heights above 30 meters.
It was a level of destruction that was over hundreds of miles of the coastline, same level of destruction. So it wasn't just isolated pockets of areas that were wiped out, but the entire coast and then the entire city of Banda Aceh.
An hour and a half after Banda Aceh is leveled, the tsunami strikes Thailand. A wall of water swamps beachside villas, hotels, and villages.
That wave is a good 15, 20 feet tall. Easy. Get in!
More than 8,000 people die. "2,000 kilometers to the west, on the island nation of Sri Lanka, 100 billion tons of water surges inland, killing 35,000 people and leaving another 500,000 homeless. In all, nearly 230,000 people die in the most devastating tsunami in recorded history. The death toll higher than for all other major tsunamis in the past 300 years combined. The power of the earthquake that triggered the tsunami was staggering. The entire planet's sea level rose by 1/10 of a millimeter. Every spot on Earth moved at least 1 centimeter. As scientists struggle to comprehend the enormity of the event, a bizarre anomaly comes to light. One that took an additional tragic toll. The morning of December 26 is quietly dawning on the peaceful shores of Galle, Sri Lanka. British tourists Camilla and Dominic Welby are sleeping in their beachside bungalow with their 11-year-old son, Hector. Suddenly, Dominic is wakened by a strange noise.
I went outside onto the veranda and I noticed that the water, which should have been at low tide, was up against the wall of the garden.
What Dominic is seeing, without realizing it, is the first sign of the tsunami. At the point of its creation, the bottom of the tsunami, called the negative wave, went east towards Thailand and Indonesia, while the top, called the positive wave, went west towards Sri Lanka. When the bottom of a wave arrives first, gravity sucks the water out, lowering the sea level. When the top of a wave arrives first, it comes like a flood. This is what the Welbys are experiencing.
I didn't know what it was. And at that moment, the floor exploded.
The tsunami rushes in, destroying the bungalow.
The force of the water was phenomenal. You know, to be exploded out of your bed, you know, to feel a piece of furniture just be thrown up into the air and to be thrown off it and to have to jump it's just very weird. And to then be sucked out and tossed around like being in a washing machine.
The couple grab their son and scramble into the bathroom.
With each wave, with the intensity of each wave, it would fill up the shower cubicle completely. We would be swirling around underwater, trying to, regain our purchase on whatever we could find.
As the waves continue to pound, the concrete walls of the bathroom begin to crumble. Hector is trapped under a large piece of concrete, struggling to keep his head above water.
The idea of your child dying before you it's nothing worse.
A third wave surges over Hector's head. He's seconds from death. But instead of drowning him, miraculously, it lifts the concrete slab off his foot and releases him. The wave that's caused so much death in this one instance is life-saving. But mostly, the peculiar behavior of tsunami waves proves deadly. Surging forward and sucking back, billions of tons of swift-moving water carry a dangerous mass of deadly projectiles, broken timber, glass, metal, and vehicles. The third wave turned Gaul into one of the hardest hit areas in the nation. As the people of Sri Lanka struggle to recover, tsunami scientists like James Goff arrive in the devastated nation.
One of the really difficult things when you go into these areas is you are going there because you have a mission to learn about the tsunami from a scientific point of view. It's very important to learn these things, and yet there is the human tragedy going on around you, and it's very difficult to isolate yourself from that human tragedy.
Amidst the horror, Goff and his colleagues discover the oddity of the third wave.
So there's Gaul quietly sitting there, recovering from being hit by two waves, and then bang.
How and why the Gaul area was hit by this third wave intrigued experts. Where did it come from? The first clue in the mystery was uncovered by looking at a global map. Sri Lanka is directly in the line of fire of the tsunami.
Sri Lanka was basically staring down the barrel of a loaded gun.
The second clue came only after careful analysis of the tsunami's unique behavior.
So the tsunami wave goes all the way past Sri Lanka, heading off to the east coast of Africa. But on the way, whack, it hits into the Maldives, and a lot of the energy is reflected back from the Maldives. The first place that hits is Gaul.
Like wildfire.
The tsunami was so powerful, its reflected energy carried a third wave 800 kilometers back across the Indian Ocean. In total, over 4,000 people died in the Gaul region. The tragedy confirms scientists' theories about the phenomenal reflective power of tsunamis. The Indian Ocean tsunami continues to provide scientists with complex and compelling new data, most of which is still being processed.
It's really difficult to say right now what the Boxing Day tsunami taught us compared to what we did know before, because it's taught us so much. It taught us that we actually don't know a lot and that we have a lot more to learn.
What the Welbys learned is that life is fleeting and precious. In appreciation for their survival and in recognition of the thousands that did not, they spearheaded a fundraising effort back home in England. To date, they've raised $25,000 for the people of Gaul. Many mysteries about the Indian Ocean tsunami remain unanswered. One of the biggest questions is how the highest waves could possibly have reached a staggering run-up height of 35 meters. Far beyond what had been thought physically possible by an earthquake-triggered tsunami. But as huge as that tsunami was, it is not the biggest wave to strike in recent history. Landslides can trigger a different kind of killer wave, producing a tsunami of monstrous size. And scientists believe a mega tsunami looms in our future, a wave of such epic proportions that nothing like it has been seen since prehistoric times. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami unleashed a series of enormous and deadly waves that had run-ups of 35 meters. But they are dwarfed by another wave that forced scientists to become detectives. What they discovered was a new kind of tsunami, one of unimaginable size and power.
Like wildfire.
In a remote bay in southwest Alaska, a native legend tells of a beast that shakes the ocean and destroys those who walk its shores. In 1958, a local fisherman came face to face with that beast. A mysterious wave more than twice the height of the Golden Gate Bridge. The story of this incredible phenomenon began 5 years earlier with 2 American geologists on assignment in remote Lituya Bay, Alaska.
We were in space, mapping the geology, and primarily interested in the stratigraphy because of the oil potential of that part of the Gulf of Alaska.
They didn't find any oil, but they did find one of the scientific mysteries of the century. George Plafka was one of the scientists.
One of the obvious things you see when you go when you're in that bay, if you're looking closely, the trees are of different ages as you go away from the shoreline.
Plafka and his colleague noticed that a band of younger trees circled the entire bay hundreds of meters above the water. The scientists knew this dramatic change in vegetation meant a large-scale disaster had struck the area. But they saw no evidence of fire or avalanches.
And so we speculated about what that could be and had all kinds of ideas about glaciers shoving forward very rapidly. The other was that there were submarine slides going on at some of the deltas along the margin of the bay, or that there was breakouts of water and amounts of water up higher along the glaciers, and then they flood down. We had everything except the right way, the right idea about how those waves could form.
The geologists left Lituya Bay without solving their mystery. 5 years later, they got their answer. In 1958, Howard Ulrich takes his 8-year-old son, Howard Jr., on a fishing trip to Lituya Bay.
So we went into our favorite anchoring spot and dropped our anchor and made supper, and finally about 9 o'clock we went to our bunk.
An hour later, the boat starts shaking violently. An 8.3 earthquake centered 21 kilometers from Lituya Bay rips across the water. Howard and his son rush up on deck just in time to see the most amazing sight of their lives.
It looked like a big explosion, like you've seen big explosions in the water on TV. That's exactly what it looked like.
What happens next defies the imagination.
As the spray started to settle down, out of the bottom of it came this huge wave. I would say that the wave was close to 1,000 feet high at that time, the actual wave.
Traveling at an estimated 112 kilometers per hour, the liquid mountain is charging straight for Howard and his son.
Coal black and full of logs, just straight up and down. It was actually a pretty horrifying looking sight. I just thought, this is the end. There's no way you're going to get out of this.
In a desperate attempt to keep control of his boat, Howard turns on his engine and drives directly into the beast.
Started pulling all the anchor chain out, and when it got to the end of the chain, I thought it was going to pull the bow of the boat under, but it snapped that chain just like it was.
The giant wave lifts the tiny boat high into the air.
I looked out over the stern of the boat, and we were looking down on the trees. And I figured that's where we were going to end up.
Unbelievably, their boat rides up and over the wave, and the Ulriches land back in the bay unharmed. 2 other vessels and their 4 occupants are not as lucky. This incredible footage was filmed the next day. Everything in the wave's path is destroyed. No trees are left standing, and most soil is ripped off down to bedrock.
Run-up height of 1,740 feet is the world record, I think, for anything that's happened in historic time. And it was, it's 500 feet higher than the Empire State Building. That's pretty big.
The earthquake felt by Howard triggered a massive rock slide, sending 30 million cubic meters of mountain hurtling into Lituya Bay. The debris slammed into the water, creating the giant wave.
It just swooped down a very steep slope and ran out into the fjord and basically forced all the water out of that little arm in front of the glacier and shot it up over the ridge that was on the other side.
One mystery remained. The amount of water displaced exceeded the amount of land that fell into the bay. It took 42 years to solve this mystery. Scientific models determined that the rapidly moving landslide created an air pocket behind the wave, preventing the water from sloshing back. The force of the air pocket combined with the size and weight of the landslide shot the water out of the bay like a missile.
It would be the same as if you took a paddle and ran it down and pushed into the water full speed at a high velocity. Just push all the water right out.
The effects of the giant Lituya Bay wave remain clearly visible today. The event rewrote the history books and changed our understanding of tsunamis forever. Landslides can and do produce waves far larger and more destructive than ever thought possible. Lituya Bay's desolate location limited the damage caused by the giant tsunami. But should an even bigger landslide-generated wave strike a major city, the result will be a mega disaster. In 1958, a landslide-generated tsunami taller than the Empire State Building obliterated an Alaskan inlet. It was a devastating display of nature. But across the Pacific Ocean, on the gentle slopes of Oahu, Hawaii, scientists have uncovered evidence of a potential disaster that would dwarf the Indian Ocean and Lituya Bay tsunamis combined.
It's almost incomprehensible, the scale, the enormity of these things. It would be quite a view.
Gerard Fryer is a geophysicist from the University of Hawaii. He uses advanced computer modeling and field data to forecast tsunamis. His research has uncovered a potential wave so big that even the best-laid evacuation plans may not be enough.
These things have been described as culture-ending events. The state would essentially be knocked back to the Stone Age.
This mega tsunami would combine the dizzying height of a landslide-triggered wave with a tsunami that strikes a densely populated landmass, in this case, Hawaii. On the island of Oahu, locals and tourists alike flock to the sea, soaking in the perfect climate and idyllic lifestyle of one of the most iconic coastlines on the planet.
This life is just one.
But in our scenario, everyone is oblivious to the fact that less than 480 kilometers to the east, a disaster of biblical proportions is about to strike. The mega disaster is triggered by the eruption of the world's largest volcano, Mauna Loa, on the big island of Hawaii.
In the case of Mauna Loa, and that's the 800-pound gorilla here, that's the big volcano that we have to worry about. As Mauna Loa is prepared for eruption, the southwest drift zone of Mauna Loa inflates with magma. The entire mountain swells, which means that the outer slopes get steeper. There are probably a succession of small earthquakes, and then maybe a big earthquake that shakes loose this very steep western flank of the volcano.
Almost 1,500 cubic kilometers of earth and rock plummet into the sea. On impact, the land displaces a massive amount of water. The ocean rushes back to fill the giant gap. From this cataclysmic disturbance emerges the tsunami, heading directly for Honolulu.
I am the fire that cleanses the world.
Estimated time to impact, 30 minutes.
This is the direction that a big tsunami would come from the big island.
The wave first becomes visible as it stands and breaks on a shallow bank 40 kilometers southeast of Honolulu.
You'd see the sea rear up in front of you. It would be huge. It would rise up above you the size of a building, the size of a 10-story building.
Surging inland at up to 70 kilometers per hour, the tsunami slams Honolulu. Because the tsunami's energy stretches down to the ocean floor, this wave is not clean water. It's filled with sand, coral, and rock. Water penetrates 16 kilometers inland before being sucked back out to sea in a lethal maelstrom of wreckage. It annihilates nearly everyone and everything in its path.
These giant landslides, as far as we can tell, they seem to occur during periods of high sea level when the climate is warm. Quite why that is, we don't know. But we are in a warm period right now with high sea level. So we should expect something like this within the next 10 or 20,000 years.
As the unofficial tsunami capital of the Pacific, Hawaii is preparing for the future. Scientists continue to develop a global network of warning systems based on real-time seismic analysis and deep-sea wave sensors. Alarms will sound as soon as 90 seconds after the initiation of even a small tsunami. Tsunamis are global-sized events with global ramifications. They combine the almost unlimited power of the Earth with the gargantuan might of the sea. They are a humbling reminder of the transience of man and the awesome strength of nature. While scientists learn more about tsunamis, engineers build stronger coastal barriers, and experts implement improved warning systems, individual vigilance remains essential.
And you see the water withdrawing, strangely, curiosity shouldn't compel you to go down and see what's going to happen next. The alarm bell should be going off.
It's something that we need to have embedded in our culture, in our knowledge base, and in our education so that we know what to do when the next tsunami happens. Not if, it's when. It's something we need to learn to live with.
As long as we continue to have the phenomena that create these giant waves, we will continue to have tsunamis. It's just a matter of time before the next one strikes.
This body is just one of many. I will blaze a trail.
Your turret has been destroyed.
I am the fire that cleanses.
Has been slain.
Like wildfire. I am the fire that cleanses the world. can't contain me, summoner. This body is just one of many. After millennia, I am free.
Has been destroyed.
You can't contain me, summoner. I will blaze a trail. I'm on a short fuse.
Destroyed.
Like rat.
team's turret has been destroyed.
Leute, bitte. Leute. Ich kenne diese Leute nicht.
Red team has slain